Hello everyone. In this project, I want to show how you could interface a joystick with the microcontroller. So for our case, we have our Texas Instrument Launchpad Tiva series, which it has the Cortex M microcontroller. And here we have one joystick, which is we want to show how you could interface the joystick with the microcontroller that we have. So the joystick usually is included of two variable resistor, one in y-axis, these axis that you see, the another one is the x-axis. So whenever I actually move this joystick around this y-axis, actually its value change from to the 0 to the maximum value that it could be delivered. Same thing for the x-axis. So this is my x-axis. I could actually go to the left and go to the right. So you consider these as a two variable resistor. One is in this direction, change its value, and another one change the potentiometer whenever you move in this y-axis. So usually the joystick has 4 pins. So more than 4 pins, but you just use 4 of them. So here you have definitely one of them is VCC, the next one is the ground, and one is for the output of the potentiometer that you have in the x-axis, and one for the potentiometer that you have in y-axis. So for interfacing, so definitely you could connect these ground and VCC here. On the joystick, the VCC labeled positive 5 volt because we use in the launchpad. Our VCC on the launchpad is 3.3 volt. It's fine to connect these 3.3 volt with this pin that you see it's labeled as a 5 volt. So the x-axis pins connect to the one of the pins that you have here on your launchpad. We connect the x-axis pin to the PD0, port D pin 0, and the y-axis to PD1. So this will be the whole story. Whenever you connect these two x-axis and y-axis value to PD0 and PD1, so then you use the analog to digital converter in microcontroller, and you are able to convert the value that you got from these two potentiometer. And because the launchpad has 12 bits, 12 bits analog to digital converter, so definitely the value that you got on the X pin should be the value between 0 to 2 power 12, which is 4096. So that means if I change X or Y, it doesn't matter because I connect these two pins to the analog to digital converter and read that value from the analog to digital converter. So whenever I put X on the left, which is this point, to the end point here, so it's actually give me a value of the minimum value. It could be the 0. Whenever here is in the middle, it is actually the half of the 4096, which should be give the value around 2048. So again, whenever you put here on the right, at the end of the right side, so what you got from pin X should be 4096. So the same thing for y-axis. Whenever in the middle is the half of that 4096, which should be 2048. So in the middle, whenever you put on the top at the end, so it should be the maximum value, and whenever you comes here, it should give you a minimum value that you could get. So we will do that. We actually connect this PD0 and PD1 to this pin X and Y here, and then we use just a serial print function in the Energia and see what's the value whenever you move this joystick in the x-axis and also y-axis. Okay, so let's do that. Let's take a look to the codes, and I will move the joystick here on the x-axis, which is this axis that you see, and also in y-axis in the whole range that I could move this. So then take a look to the value that we have in pin X and Y and see how it changed. So let's do that. So this is our code. So as you could see, that simple code, we just use the analog read function, which is use the analog to digital converter of the launchpad to read the voltage that we have in pin X of the joystick and also pin Y of the joystick. So the pin X of the joystick connected to the microcontroller PD0 and pin Y of the joystick connected to the pin VDY. So that means we read the voltage that you have in pin X and pin Y, which comes from the potentiometer that we have for X and Y axis. And then the microcontroller convert that voltage, which is between 0 to 3.3, to the one digital value, which should be between 0 and 4096, which is 2 power 12. So that means we read these numbers, then we have that numbers inside these two variables, then we just simply print that value. So let's start with the pin X of the joystick, which is read it, and here we just use a serial print to see the value in our monitor. So let's go to the tools and serial monitor. So this is actually, you see what we have. So right now I didn't touch the joystick. Joystick is exactly in the middle center, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to push the joystick to the farthest left side and also push that in the farthest way I could push to the right side. So let's start with the left side. Right now I'm exactly on the x-axis. I push that to the left, so this is actually the smallest value you could get, which is the almost around 0, right? So back to the center give me 90, 96, 94, which is, there is a tolerance, so in theory should be the half of 4096, which is 2048, right? So but it's give almost around that number, which is 2048. So here is 1994, which is close to that number. So now I'm moving to the right side on the x-axis. So whenever you push as far as you could to the right side on axis X, it's actually give 4094.93, which is very close to 4096 that I expect, okay? So as you could see, it works. So we are able to read the x-axis, and the range is between 0 to 4096. So let's do the same thing for the y-axis. So now we back to our codes and change these to the y and see what we have on the pin Y in the joystick. So let's load the codes and take a look to the serial port and see what we have. So now the joystick is in the center. So again, you get the number around 2048. So almost with the tolerance, you see it is 9075, which is acceptable. So now I'm actually pushing the joystick forward and see what is the biggest number I could get whenever I push that forward. So see, this is the farthest way I could go in the y-axis with the joystick. So it gives me around 0. This is what I expect. So if you go to the opposite and push that down, and in the farthest way that you could go in the y-axis, it will give you 4093 or 4, which is close to 4096 that we expect, okay? So push the joystick forward, the smallest number you could get is 6, and if you pushed backward on the y-axis, this is 494 is whatever you get. I hope you like this video. Thank you for watching.